Well, how's the last couple weeks been for you? I mean, you're named offensive line coach, maybe to some unexpectedly, and start training camp. How's it been the last couple weeks?
I mean, it's been exciting. I mean, it's an opportunity that I've been working for my whole life, and to get a chance to work with these great guys, it's been a whirlwind, but it's been fun. I mean, and I've been preparing for it. I've had great teachers and coaches, and Rico and Bill Callahan and Gary Kubiak, and it's just been, living the dream in that sense.
Mike Zimmer described this as like a 3-month thing with Rick in terms of if he'd be available. So how much more are you anticipating this, and how much did you get to prepare for?
I think that, especially with last year and how things played out in the sense of always being ready with COVID. I mean, there was always a plan for if Rico had gone down and with COVID, then I'd take over, and we've just been planning that for a while in that sense. And I've been, again, planning kind of my whole life to be an offensive line coach in the NFL. So it wasn't a huge jump or anything in that sense. And so when they called me and told me that this was what was going to happen, and I was excited. And then it gave us a chance to bring on Ben Steele and come on and take over what my role was last year. And he's done an excellent job in 2 weeks, getting involved with the players, and he has a great feel for what we do just because of he's been in this system. He was with them in Houston, and he's been around it, and he's done a really good job overall just connecting with me and what that job is going to be, and we're excited. So.
Hey, Phil, what in your mind are the strengths and sort of highlights of this former Broncos system, and how and why it works well for this team?
The system is built around having a sameness and likeness in the run game and the play action game. And we do a really good job working together with the pass game guys to tie the two in together. So the system, although it's been used for many years, I mean, it's ever evolving and always new. So we live and die by the wide zone. I mean, that's what we love to do. And our back is very, very good at it. But it makes our protection scheme very easy in some senses because the runs and the passes are tied in together. So it makes it look like we're doing a whole bunch of stuff, but we're really not. But the defense, they see a bunch of different looks and a bunch of different things that all look the same, but then there's a slight tweak there, here or there, that makes it become an explosive play. So.
Establishing that sameness, for rookies that come in, is that a hard skill or thing to teach?
See that? Sorry, the plane flew over.
Yeah. Establishing that sameness you're trying to create, is that hard for rookies to pick up?
I think that for a rookie to come in, they get indoctrinated very quickly into what we do. And I'd like to credit like the Brian O'Neills and the Garrett Bradburys in our group for bringing those guys in into helping teach our style, because they do a really good job overall. Wyatt and 71, I mean, they do a great job taking them in and just having the foundation that's been built before they got here, and it continues on. So it's not that it's difficult for a rookie, it's just the first few days I bet you could be a little bit overwhelming, but after that they're pretty good.
How would you describe your boisterous nature on the field? I mean, it's easy to kind of hear you out there, and I mean, Zimmer brought up that word when you were hired.
I think you guys hear a different guy. I don't know. I mean, I'm
okay.
not. It's not me. No, I just when I was learning how to coach offensive line under Bill Callahan, we were loud. We were loud because we got to coach 15 guys. Just because you're correcting one guy, that doesn't mean he's the only guy getting the correction. So, and I think that guys feed off energy, and during training camp, it can get to be long days. And if you're going every day and you're coaching them and you're the same guy every day, they'll come out and they'll compete for you. And that's what I'm looking for. Guys who will compete, and that's what we're looking for as an organization. Guys will compete every day and match our energy. And they've done a great job so far.
Is that important to be positive as well as negative? Like we hear what you yell, but we hear almost like equally praise as much as negative.
Well, they got to know when they're doing a good job. I mean, that's critical. I mean, my position is a very excitable position. I'm probably the only guy who gets excited when we block the 3 technique in this whole place. So, I mean, people got to know that they're doing their job too. And building players' confidence to let them know that they're great or have the potential of being great is just as important as correcting the negative, in my opinion. So what we do, what me and Ben do, is we emphasize both. If you screw up, we're going to let you know. If you do a good job, we're going to let you know. And it takes guys like, Brian O'Neill, Garrett Bradbury, Ole. I mean, those guys need positive reinforcement in what they do. Okay, they're hardening their bodies and their minds right now during training camp. Okay, that's what training camp is for an offensive lineman. You got to harden your body and your mind. But some of that hardening your mind is knowing that you're doing a good job in what you're doing. So.
So when you guys made the decision this summer to move Ole to guard, did you look back at anything from the Ezra Cleveland transition when he was a tackle in college to moving him to guards to know that would be a good fit for Ole?
Ole has a particular skill set in which he's long and he's incredibly strong. So when looking at him and then looking at where the tackle position was, just numerically, it seemed like a good fit to move him inside. And just looking at different players who've moved inside, Ezra, for example, or when I was in Washington, we moved Brandon Sheriff inside, or Brandon Sheriff had moved inside. He shares qualities and traits that would make you think that he has the potential of being very good. That and just the overall size and demeanor of how he plays football fits being a guard better than it does being a tackle. So.
Size. How much of a challenge does that present when you're trying to move that inside and be in a wide zone scheme where you have to get out and be mobile and kind of lead getting to the second level? How much of a challenge is that at his size?
Well, for some guys, it would be a challenge. But for Ole, he is a very good athlete, and he understands leverage and angles. He's a very smart player. So he has the ability to get to the second level. And not everybody's the same, okay? Not everybody takes the same angle, but Ole understands angles that work for him. And when he gets on the second level and he gets his mitts on you, he's going to block you. And that's what he does is different than what Ezra does, and what's different than what Wyatt does, and what's different what Dakota does, just because they're all different body types and they're all different skill sets. So, like, you have to coach and you have to alter some things due to what kind of athlete he is. And now, Ole and the guys that we have playing guard are exceptional athletes. That's what makes this system go, is the guard position. Because if you think about it, the tackles, 90% of the time they block the same guy. The guard position has a little bit more thinking. It's a little bit more involved because they have a 3 technique on them. Sometimes they have a nose. Sometimes they're going to the stack backer. Sometimes they're going behind. So the thing for like a guy that's transitioning like Ole or Ezra did last year is there's a little bit more thinking involved in playing fast. And we're finally starting to get into a rhythm with some of those guys making the transition that they're really starting to play at the speed we want them to.
Mike Zimmer said that with Christian Darius on, it's kind of a step forward, step back situation right now. What kind of challenge is ahead of him as he tries to get in that running for that starting?
All I know is every day he comes to work and he's doing everything I ask him as his position coach. The rest of it I defer to Coach Zim and Rick, but he's done a really good job indoctrinating himself in the meeting room with our guys, and I think the guys enjoy having him in there. He asks great questions, and we're just excited whenever he gets out there to work with them. And he's doing the best he can to get out there and help us. So we're excited about that.
You've got a number of potential starters that have either no or limited NFL experience. So how do you judge the potential of this group?
I think that everybody started somewhere, and I think that their skill set and the way they work together as a unit is what's going to get us through it. It's not, offensive linemen don't have individual goals, okay? We have group goals, and so we're strong as a unit. We're not strong as any particular player. So if one guy's bad at pass protection, you guys, right, that we're all bad at pass protection. So that's the truth. So we make sure that that our goals are together. Now, are we excited about how some individual players are playing? We absolutely are, because that makes the unit better. So that's how I'll answer that.
What's it been like having your old buddy from UCLA, Mike Harris, around this week?
Mike's been awesome. I recruited Mike with Jim Coletto, which I thought was not many years ago, but I've actually been doing this longer than I look. So I was 22 years old, my first coaching job, and we recruited Mike from, I want to say, Duarte High School, and he came in, he played right tackle, and he's been awesome. And I followed Mike's career when he after I left UCLA, and he's been sitting in some meetings. He's been following me around. I think he's coaching himself now, so he's been asking for tips, and it's been really good. Thank you, guys.